Xcom 2 is one of the most challenging modern strategy games available today, but despite being built from the ground up to crush your will to live, there's a method to the game's madness, and even the most difficult situations can be beaten if you know what you're doing. Today we're going to talk about a few things that help me come out victorious when the odds are clearly stacked in my enemy's favor. Before you start a mission, you have to pick your squad composition. The time you spend deciding which soldiers to bring and what their loadout will be plays a big role in your success or failure. There's a lot of nuance to consider when building a squad of high-ranked soldiers, but there are some basics to keep in mind. Rangers use shotguns, and shotguns are awesome. Because they deal a minimum of 4 damage, they'll score a guaranteed kill on any target with 4 hit points or less if the shot connects and the target is unable to dodge. Rangers trivialize early game units like advent troopers, and they make finishing off high health targets that much easier. Grenadiers' cannons have a similar effect because they also deal a minimum of 4 damage. But Grenadiers are more tailored towards support. The increased radius on their grenades makes them great for damaging multiple enemies or destroying cover. An exposed enemy is easier to hit by your other soldiers, so Grenadiers weaken targets so your heavy hitters can take them out. With that said, high-ranked Grenadiers unlock some very potent abilities which makes them damage dealers in their own right. Sharpshooters and their sniper rifles become the deadliest combination in the game, but it takes them a long time to reach that level. Their starting abilities are very lackluster and they're difficult to position efficiently. The same applies to specialists, though they start to show their potential earlier in their ranks. When you're building a squad, make sure to have the right mix of soldiers and don't forget to tailor your composition to the mission you're doing. There's a bit more room for flexibility with the soldiers added in War of the Chosen, but they shake things up a lot, so we're going to talk about them another time. Now that you're on a mission, once you've surveyed the area and laid eyes on your first group of enemies, you're likely gearing up for an ambush. Depending on the composition of the first pod you encounter and your squad composition, you'll have to use different ambush tactics. My current squad is 2 Rangers, a Specialist, and a Sharpshooter. I don't have enough firepower or faith in RNGesus to clear this pod by placing all of my soldiers on Overwatch. So instead, I'm only going to put my Specialist on Overwatch, leave my Rangers with both of their action points available, and start the fight with my Sharpshooter. When your ambush inevitably fails, knowing which enemy types are sheep in wolf's clothing and which will grind your manhood into a pulp and drink it like a smoothie is important. If you've played the game for a few hours, then you've probably started to notice which enemies give you the most trouble. Stun Lancers, in my experience, are a devastating enemy throughout the entirety of the campaign, and when you see them in a pod, it's usually a good idea to kill them first. In this pod, we have a Sectoid and 2 Stun Lancers. Even though the Sectoid is dangerous in his own way, he's only a threat when he's supported by other soldiers. The Stun Lancers are a threat by themselves, and even worse in a group. So far, this first encounter is going well. Our axe throw connected with the Advent Stun Lancer, which means a little bit of luck and a shotgun blast to the face is all we need. The remaining Stun Lancer is at maximum health, but the Boltcaster, courtesy of the Alien Hunter downloadable content, will make quick work of him if it crits. And wouldn't you know it, we got lucky.
Well, how about that?
Now that we've eliminated the Stun Lancers, the Sectoid is left to fend for himself. He's going for a mind spin, but even if he succeeds at mind controlling our soldier, we've got more than enough firepower to deal with him. The last and most important fact that's helped me through XCOM 2 is that kills are a priority over injuries, and the reason is because dead targets don't shoot back. If you're up against a group of enemies and you think you can wound all of them, but you know you can kill at least one, go for the kill. In XCOM, soldiers and aliens perform the same whether they're bloodied and battered or fresh out the shower, so in most cases it will be better to have one less enemy gunning for your face. This encounter was filled with a lot of situations that were not ideal, but we managed to get through by using fundamentals. I've modded my game so that sharpshooters can use the Reaper's Vector Rifle, but that is significantly weaker than the standard sniper rifle. Its minimum damage is 3, which means you don't always guarantee a kill on an Advent Trooper. The decision to sacrifice power from mobility is biting me in the ass, and it hurts a lot. It's also causing me to make some less than ideal tactical decisions. We start off by throwing a frag grenade at the Advent Stun Lancer to destroy his cover. My next move should have been to shoot him with the Boltcaster from my second Ranger, but instead I used my Specialist and, spoiler alert, he didn't die. Fortunately, things worked out pretty well because we killed the highest priority target in this pod, the Stun Lancer. In a similar vein to the Sectoid, the Advent Priest is a support unit and is only truly devastating when he has other soldiers around him. And finally, Advent Troopers are almost never a threat. It goes without saying, more goes into winning tactical engagements in XCOM, but these are fundamentals I take with me on every mission, regardless of what I'm going up against, and they help. Speaking of helping, if you found this video helpful, be sure to let me know in the comments, especially if you'd like to see more content like this. XCOM 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and I'm currently working on a playthrough of War of the Chosen, so there are a lot of strategic elements to consider, especially with the new classes, the Skirmisher, Reaper, and Templar. And finally, if you head to the description, there is a link for Kinguin.net. Kinguin.net is a CD key distributor similar to G2A, and they have amazing deals on games, including XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. So again, head to the description, click on the link for Kinguin.net. With all of that said, the name of the game is XCOM 2, the name of the channel is iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.